we're going to get rolling along today. Protest the Hero. I don't know nothing about it. From a day ago, we have this edited post, because that's what it says there. And it's just, one of our channel subscribers, just whatever, is not Bob. And it was like, hey, let's try something new. And I'm like, hey, it's awesome. Perfect. So, straight out of the comments from request to reaction, protest the hero, the Fireside. We are looking at, now here's the filter over in not Bob's comment. See, it gets me. By saying you're not Bob, I feel you are. But that's just, how. So, what I know is my cooking knowledge is filtered through my mom, who, got me interested in cooking, and the core of our, menus were adaptations on Depression era dishes, how to stretch meats, how to cheaper things to add variety to the whole experience while on a budget. Now, don't get me wrong, there wasn't that kind of budget. It was a thinking. It was a process. My mom was a product of Depression era cooking. And I got a lot of... I knew what it was like having, family with lots of kids while Dad was away fighting, a soldier, living on the farm, cutting corners, making do, digging out of. They weren't in the Depression, they were coming out of it, I believe would be the time setting there. And so there's the knowledge. That's all I got. But that's what I will kind of have floating around as we check this out. Protest the Hero, the Fireside, from the album Palma Pest. There, you got me there. Whoa. Coming from the Richelieu, didn't expect. Happily surprised, I guess. Let's go. All right, first we're gonna. All right, I had to make a few changes so I could bring up the lyrics because I don't, have the album to pop open and go, hey, what's. Oh, okay. It's because I don't actually. I couldn't understand everything. And if you're dumb enough to witness this insipid wasteful, you're dumb enough to listen. Ooh, I might have to go back. So I did, like I said, I brought up some lyrical content in the background. Have to find a way to control both type deal. Oh, yeah, we're winning now. Okay, we're going back a bit so I can try to follow along. Well, slowly. I'm sure slowly moving along. Oh yeah, there it is. I don't know what it's like to feel alive. Okay. And if you're coming up to win, this is a different way. So listening, you're coming up to listen, but this ain't the water. Because you can ask, the bottom of the chest, getting hot. You're told the water's rising.
your faith in God, but keep your powder dry. Cause God saves rest for those that have no teeth. Love the sun, spoil the rod, make sure it's satisfied. Cut the ground from underneath your feet.
Now, you know, maybe, I'm in a bad spot to see stuff right now. I can't find that comment at the moment. But I'm not sure. We're going to go back and keep listening, and then we're going to take a look at the lyrics.
Because the fireside chats are comforting while the population's wondering if suffering's not the only option left. If suffering's not the only option left, it will overextend and underprepared. It's almost the time don't push it back. And every day now, it's getting worse. Year after year, first after first, overextended and underdone. And when they came for the crib, they came for the table and the drapes on the wall. They came for the clothes on the backs of my kids. My God, they came for it all. Years of a white flag waving in the wind. Ghost town, ghost country, no sign of the sleeping, and all we needed was a reason. 10 years of a white flag waving in the wind. Ghost town, ghost country, no sign of.
I see. I do. I would. So from is definitely not Bob's comment. Let's see here. Yeah. The working class after American working class after the Depression. Yeah. So what I'm thinking about is like, where I could see this idea represented would be like in "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" Now I'd understand that that's it, you know, not quite what it looks like, but the whole the Tennessee River Valley Authority putting people back to work, public works. Now here we're going with global conflict, but this government presented sense of purpose, which at the same time, there are plenty of people, I would reflect upon my own family's story, that their sense of purpose was doubling down, learning how to extend recipes, and surviving the lean times on the small bit of, let's say, land they're working as a farm or something. At the same time, you had all kinds of people who had to be doled out a purpose to rebuild, which is kind of a little bit of what where the comment, the song, and the lyrics all kind of come together, because, well, let's finish it out and go back. But this part and some of these, yeah, I could see where you're coming from.
10 years of a white flag waving in the wind. Ghost town, ghost country, no sign of the sleeping, and all we needed was a reason. 10 years of a white flag waving in the wind. Ghost town, ghost country, no sign of the sleeping, and all we needed was a reason.
all we needed was a reason. You gave us one, and then it got a job for every able-bodied man, munition factories for women and children. Right, that's the whole. That's I was reading ahead. And I could see all that. I got to go back to the beginning when it's over.
I've got a job for every able-bodied man. Munition factories for women and children. And all we needed was a reason, and you gave.
Well, sure. Then this part in the title, Fireside, doesn't this kind of lead into what is it? Was that Roosevelt? Who was at the Fireside chats and all that shit? Excuse me. Prior to my existence, I don't, right? I got hot dish recipes out of the whole experience, and then I didn't. Mom didn't live in the old days. She just was inspired by what she went through. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with knowing the path that got us to a point. But yeah, it's very cool. I like it.
I've got a job for every able-bodied man. Munition factories for women and children, and all we needed was a reason.
Yeah, I really come away with because some of the verses, some of the stuff at the beginning, I end up with this oh, it does, yeah, because the side chats are comforting. Okay, so it's right in the lyrics. See, I didn't even catch that the first time around. For sure, that there's a couple things that take us right back to that moment, especially that line. Yeah, no, there's a lot of depth here.
You gave us one. You gave us one. 10 years of a white flag waving in the wind. Ghost town, ghost country, no sign of the sleeping, and all we needed was a reason.
Very cool. Protest the hero, the Fireside. Now, just from the first line, you won't miss the water till the well runs dry. Which actually, I talk about in my real life all the time. If your main goal is to wait until it's in your backyard, you have waited way too long. Which is not a, I think that's a call for vigilance and examination of things far off, not blindly waiting till it bites you in the ass, then going, "Oh, I got to do something about it." But it doesn't work that way, does it? It's a lot easier to take everything for granted till it goes wrong, than go, "Hey, who's gonna save me?" I can't appreciate the taste with the bountiful. Yeah, see, that's it. But then at the same time, you've got some of these lyrics reverting back to like Depression era ideas. It's still, it seems to be, the first two lines come off like an indictment of an overindulgent and wasteful culture, right? Yeah, I don't know what it's like to live till you barely survive. Don't know what it's like to feel alive. Now, I hate to constantly reference it, but I can only say I understand completely from the moment they lock you in the cage and they have the key and you don't. I didn't understand what was precious until the simple act of freedom of movement taken away. And then I realized what was actually precious versus what was actually coveted. And we didn't covet any of the things that were the worst to be taken. It was like, hey, I got my possession. if I'm living in a hole in the woods, which I wouldn't want to be, but that's where I'm at because I have to somehow get shelter from the storm. I'd be grateful for the shelter of the storm, not the Rolex I had 2 weeks earlier. I've never had a Rolex, just as an example. And I didn't realize that time and decision making was. Yeah, I see. No one's grateful for being able to make up their own mind, even if their mind is influenced by others, but they don't understand how precious that is because they never had it taken away from them. And so that I tend to relate to those kind of lines. But then I get triggered if you're dumb enough to witness this insipid, wasteful christening. You're dumb enough to listen when they say the water's glistening. And then I take that section as putting... So I don't see a difference between the government control system ruling by the point of the weapon or the preacher from the pulpit condemning my soul. If the main gig is to control and guilt me into deciding that they're right, then I truly didn't really make any decisions for myself. I'm just being led by my, tyrannical leaders. But now I've been locked in a cage, so I know making my own decisions are actually the only way to go, thus admitting I'd live in a cave before I complied to it all. Suck, I wouldn't want to. Well, damn, never, but I don't actually exist in the covetous wavelength. I am not looking to get. It's probably why the channel is, does nothing, because there's nothing I covet except try to go hard and have a good time at the request of one individual. And I don't know if it's all opinions for entertainment purposes only. I'm just saying, what. Yeah. So following along, because, they say the water's glistening and endless. And it's almost like a rabbit hole I went down where they say God makes it spring up from a rock, even though the infrastructure project to pump it from the city to that location is on public record. But the illusion of the fantasy magic water is stronger than the reality of large-scale infrastructure projects posted at public record offices. And I can't reconcile the two. I don't understand the blind faith that the witch doctor ain't right either. I don't believe the person wielding the power has ever been right. I believe they've been trying to deceive me so they can maintain more power. So then let's see. I scrape the bottom of this desiccated hole. You're told the water's rising, the well's completely full, but it's not without its comforts. Aching in your side, if you can tolerate the thirst eventually subsides. And that kind of emphasizes that going along with what you're told, not can see, right? A little bit, maybe. Because they say it's there, but you're at the bottom with nothing. It's good. It's filling up. Hope springs eternal. It's always there, like magic water from a rock. But it's not. It's scented and pumped in from a city water supply that probably runs through treatment facilities. It's, all aspects of holy inspiration or cosmic powers are gone. It's, it's an illusion. And if you can handle the illusion long enough, eventually you'll believe it. It's like that cave thing, and all you can see is the shadows and the misconceptions of the world outside you, and you're convinced that what you see is real when you've got nothing but a tainted view to begin with. Whew. Heavy. Holy shit. 21 minutes heavy. I didn't know. And then, as you've been, as you believe their bullshit, this is where it seems like they pull you closer and closer to, yeah, because we're mired in the depths of this. What we're told is a chrysalis, which, hey, we're going to transform into something different. But we're really being led along by those soothing fireside chats because our leadership has come into our living room and, told us how it's going to be okay. Even though we're eating the 4-year, the old donkey that day. That's back to them. Oh, brother, where art thou? They're eating the horse. I think this is, that's what I've gotten from it. Because then you get switched to my opening rant from the beginning is hearts and minds, and it goes over and over and over. So the fact that the lyrical content kind of tells its story up to this point, and then all of a sudden they've, they got the true believers white knuckling it on their rifles, ready to go out there and get the enemy, which this channel has constantly debated. Both sides tend to tell their people they're righteous and the other side's the enemy. It's a shit side to look at it from. Who was right? Who was wrong? Well, both sides believe they're right, obviously. And then what? I'm supposed to just side with the victor? Maybe I should look at both sides and the ridiculous nature of having it come to a head in the first place. But you get down there and it gets repetitive, and which is awesome for me because I think that's that whole hearts and minds. You get over and over and over until we can get those women and children in the munitions factories and all those able-bodied men lining up against each other. It's a great way to control the population, thin the herd, and get rid of all the aggressive men who might be problematic to your own control system by sicking them on someone else's. I have no idea if anything I think here is right. But from definitely not Bob's, a guy who is not Bob, from that comment off Richelieu Radio, just from the other day, to protest the hero, the Fireside. That's my favorite part of the whole gig right here. Not the, not the 30 views it might get over a year, but this experience right here. And I hope it was everything it could have been. Later.